Hello everybody and welcome back to Panda Creates Tutorials. I'm Panda, and if you're new here, it is lovely to meet you. Thanks for stopping by. I am a Aussie crafter that has had her YouTube channel almost 2 years now. I started my channel to try and bring crafting tutorials to Australians that use Australian products. Because when I first started crafting, almost 4 years ago, I started cup making, but I've been crafting pretty much all my life. But a lot of the YouTube videos that I was watching used American products, and although the methods are transferable, it was really frustrating seeing tutorial after tutorial where a lot of the products that they were using I couldn't source myself down under, either because they weren't available. Some of the companies don't ship outside of the US and Canada. Sometimes the shipping is worth 4 or 5 times more than the product value itself. So my goal of starting this channel was to bring crafting tutorials to the entire world, but focusing on products from Australian small businesses that Aussies can source, and kind of throw my hat in the ring with all of the tutorials that use Walmart and Michaels and Hobby Lobby and Dollar Tree and all of that fun stuff that you Americans get to have. We don't have that down here. So that is the goal of my channel here. Regardless of where you are in the world, I hope you do enjoy my tutorials and you take something away from them. But yes, my main point of difference, I suppose you can say, is that I try to source Australian products from Australian small businesses and support them at the same time. So today I am doing what is, if you haven't guessed by now with me playing with my acrylic cup, this has probably been one of my highest requested tutorials to date, and that is the shaker cup. Now, I've been doing these for over a year now. They've become very, very popular in like the last 6 to 8 months or so. So obviously my methods today are different to when I first started, because the more popular they became, the more tips and tricks people started figuring out, the easier it was to create them, right? So what I'm going to teach you today is the accumulation of 14 or 15 months worth of trial, error and information to come to a point where this is the method that I'm now happy with and I now use all the time, and hopefully you learn something from it. But we are doing a shaker cup. I source my double-walled acrylic tumblers from Standout Embroidery, and as with all of my videos, everything that I use is listed in the description down below, along with links where applicable. Okay, so these cups are from Standout Embroidery. I'm also doing something a little bit different today than just putting glitter in it, and that is, we are doing glitter, right? This is the gorgeous glitter that we're going to be using. I'm going to turn my light off so you can see, right? It's a gorgeous yellow chunky mix from the CraftOnline. This is called Yellow Brick Road, but I'm using this to pair with these cute little sunflower clays, right? They're polymer slices, also from the CraftOnline. If you have a look in the description down below, she has been generous enough to provide us with a little discount code that you guys can use as well. If you're into bow making, a lot of her stock revolves around bow making and clays and stuff like that, but she does have a small range of polymer slices and glitters and stuff like that as well. So I'm sure if you have a look around her website, you will find something that you like. But that's what we're doing today. We're going to use some little slices in our acrylic cup as well. Now, starting off, the drill bit that I will be using is a size 5/16, which is quite a large size. If you're new to acrylic, like the shaker cups, I do suggest you go with something a little bit smaller, just until you get your pressure right for drilling. One of the biggest problems that I've come across with people messaging me asking for tutorials is people seem to have a really big problem with when they're drilling, they crack their cups. The trick is to go slow and gently and evenly apply pressure rather than just going for it, right? It is a little bit of a longer process doing it bit by bit, but in doing so, I never crack and waste cups, okay? If you're new to it, like I said, make sure you use a smaller drill bit and just glitter to start with, and then the more confident that you get, the more you can work up to a larger drill bit. But today I am using a 5/16, which is just shy of 8 millimeters, I believe, from memory. I think it's like 7.98 mil or something like that. Okay, so let's try and get you guys. Bird's eye views are always really hard for me to film because I'm left-handed, right? Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the cups that I use, if you get them from Standout Embroidery, they do have all of the text and everything around this ring here. You do know it's a double wall, I'll put my drill down, a double wall cup when you can see what is essentially a cup inside a cup. Okay, see how you can see the bottom of the single wall in there? It needs to be a double walled acrylic because the gap between the two layers is what you fill with your glitter and everything like that. Okay. As I mentioned, slow and steady wins the race. I'm going to try and do it in a way where you guys can see. Okay, so I'm going to line up my drill bit. No, I'm not. I'm going to take off my lid first, just to make it a little bit more stable. Okay, so there we go. Now let's try. Okay, so I'm going to line up my drill bit. And the first bit that I'm going to do is just press in enough just to give me the slightest indentation to start with, okay? So okay, just to where, and it does make a mess, right? Just to where your acrylic starts coming off. And now I have, I'm not sure if I can get it to see that little dot, right? I have my starting point. Now that I have that, I know that the drill bit's not going to slip out. It's not going to go flying. The cup's not going to slip out, right? So now that I've got that, I'm going to go back in and bit by bit, I'm going to apply even pressure. I don't want to put too much pressure. Too much pressure results in cracking. Going too fast results in cracking. So it will be bit by bit, but I'm going to speed it up just so you're not sitting here for the next 5 minutes watching me drill. Okay, I got it. Like I said, it does make a little bit of a mess. If you do have respiratory issues, I do suggest wearing like a little cloth mask or something. You are going to end up with all of this lovely little acrylic dust. I'm going to get my sandpaper to get rid of those bits there. Clean that up. Okay, if you get any acrylic, see how I've got it? I've now got, if it'll focus, I've got acrylic floating around on the inside. See there? That really is just a case of banging it at an angle until all of those little bits come out. Okay, sometimes, like if you get these little bits, like the big chunky bits, when you're drilling, they go inside the cup. Using a Cricut weeding tool to get up in there and flicking them out helps also. But the slower you go, might see that's all out now. The slower that you go, the easier it is to clean up. Okay, so now that we have our hole, we haven't got any cracks or anything. Okay, like I said, slow and steady wins the race. Now we're ready for our next step. Okay, so now that we have our cup, it's all cleaned out of all the little dusty bits on the inside. We have our hole, we're ready to go. In regards to cleaning up your desk, guys, I cannot recommend a lint brush more, like, you know, the sticky lint rollers, right? They clean up everything. They clean up glitter, they clean up acrylic dust, right? Lint rollers. That's my little secret. Here's my lint roller. Okay, but now that we've got our hole, we're ready to fill. Okay. The formula that I use, that I have found has always worked best for me. I fill the sauce bottle up. I do 2 cups of boiling hot water. So flick your kettle on, boil your kettle, get a measuring jug, 2 cups of boiling hot water, and it's 1 tablespoon of the Elmers clear glue. Okay. Which I don't have in my craft room. I think I left it out in my kitchen. Okay, but I will in the next part we'll start filling it up, and then I'll stop recording, I'll go out, I'll get me glue, I'll come back and I'll show you, right? But it's the Elmer's school glue, the clear PVC, right? So 1 tablespoon of that to every 2 cups of boiling hot water. You put it in while it's hot, you mix it, you make sure it's really well dissolved. Wait for it to cool. Once it's cooled, put it into your dispensing bottle. So I just use these sauce bottles, right? Once you have your mixture and it's cooled, please be very careful so you don't burn yourself, right? This is why I like the sauce bottles, because the sauce bottles go straight into the hole. I'm going to start by putting a good squeeze of my liquid into my cup. Okay, just to get it started, just so none of the clays or the glitter or anything stick to the very top of the cup. It just gives it a little bit of movement. And I'm going to put some paper towel down. Now for my next trick. This works for glitter as well, which you will see when we go to put the glitter in, but we're going to start with the clays. Okay, instead of putting it in piece by boring piece, right? Nobody's got time for that. So this is how I do mine. Again with the weeding tool. Get that out of the way. These little plastic cups fit perfectly onto the bottom of my acrylic cup. Okay. Okay, lucky I realized that my computer had stopped filming before I did that entire section, because that would have been a bit of a tragedy. Okay. So all that you missed, we put our liquid in. I've explained the liquid. We've put our liquid in. All you missed is me starting to put my sunflowers in. So we're going to recap that part. Okay. This is my little trick. It works for glitter as well, which you will see. It just stops us having to put them in brick by boring brick, right? So get a little plastic cup. We're going to put our sunflowers or your glitter or whatever you're using into our plastic cup. There is like a little, oh, my hands are too fat, a little red bit. There it is, right? See that tiny little red speck? I don't want that in my cup, so I'm getting rid of that. And a sunflower's trying to escape. Okay, so put your glitter or whatever in a cup. These cups fit perfectly on top of here, which is why I use them. So I'm literally just going to go like that. Okay, I know my hole is here. I'm going to shake. Tap, shake, tap, see? And they're all coming in. Make sure you're holding your cup secure, especially if you're using glitter. The last thing you want to do is for this cup to come off, because I'm sure you can imagine the amount of mess. And yes, it has happened to me. That is why I remembered to tell you. Right, make sure you've got a firm grip while you're shaking. Right, so you shake and you tap. And you just continue to do that as they all come down, okay? So I'm going to continue to do that, and then I'll be back to do the glitter. Okay, so I just quickly wanted to show you. I'm going to turn this light off so it doesn't reflect. Please focus. Thank you so much for your cooperation. We have a little bit of a traffic jam. Okay, best way to do it is get a little weeding tool or something and simply move them out of the way. Okay, obviously when we add our liquid and our glitter and whatnot, they're going to move out of the way. But if they get a little bit uncooperative, you're tapping and you're shaking and you're noticing that they're not really going anywhere and your hole is blocked, a little weeding tool, okay? That pushes them and it goes in far enough to be able to move them out of the way, okay? So if you have a little bit of a traffic jam, just really carefully tip your cup to the side, remembering that there's liquid in the bottom, so always make sure that your hole is pointing up so that your liquid is sitting on the bottom. Take the cup off, do what you need to do, and now I'm very carefully going to put my cup back on, tip it up, and continue doing what we've been doing. Okay, so all of my sunflowers are in, and I've kind of done the little, making sure you plug the hole at the top, done me a little twisty twist just to try and get them all down to the bottom. Okay, so now before I add my glitter, I'm going to want to add a little bit more liquid. Yes, I know my bottle leaks out the side. A little bit more liquid to the cup, so it's about 1/3. Okay, clean all of this up. And now I'm going to do exactly the same process again, but using glitter. I used about half of the bag of sunflowers. And as I mentioned, this is Yellow Brick Road from the Craft Click as well. See how pretty it is? Does it look better with the light on? No, can't even see it with the light on. That's just fabulous, isn't it? Okay, so again, remembering that I have liquid in the cup, I'm going to put on like that. And do me a little shaky shake, see? And the glitter will go in. Shake, 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 tap, tap, tap. I'm going to keep doing that until all of our glitter is in. Alrighty guys, I've finished putting all of my glitter in, and that is what we're left with. Isn't that stunning? Right. Now I have made a sunflowers. I'll show you the difference now. I've made a sunflowers cup before for my daughter. I used the same clays, but I used a different yellow. Right. See the difference? Isn't this one so much more sunflowery? Right. So, Yellow Brick Road, I think, is what I'm going to stick with for my sunflower cups now. But now that all of that is in there, we're going to fill it up and seal it up, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So, also, as I promised at the beginning of the video, I went looking for the Elmers glue that I use to make my mixes. I think my daughter has pinched it because I can't find it where I thought it was, and she's not here, she's at school. So I found this. Right, this is exactly the same one. It's the Elmers school glue, the washable one, but you want it in the clear and not the white. Right, this does dry clear, but obviously if you add it into water, it's not going to dry. So it is the Elmers brand, but it has to be the clear one. Okay, so without further ado, because I'm not waiting until she gets home, I want to get this done. We're going to fill it all the way up to the top with our Elmers mix. As you saw in the last part, for some reason it leaks out this part here, and I don't know how to fix it, but it's really annoying. So bear with me. I should have enough to finish the cup. Right. Oh, you're not going to leak today. Right, all the way up to the very tippy top. Like so. Right, you want to do it so that is literally, can you see how the glitter has pulled there? See that? it is right to the very, very tippy top. Okay, so I'm just going to dry off the area. Now, how I was sealing mine, which worked really, really well for me, was using Selleys No More Gaps, right? And a little bit of UV resin, which this cup is about 6 months old, right? The one that I made for my daughter is about 6 months old. And as you can see, whoop, there, right? I filled the gap with the Selleys, I let it dry, and then I put, trying to get, please focus, see here, you can see it here, it's got UV resin over it just to protect it. Right, when you're looking at it from this way, you cannot see that it's white, right? When you shake it, right, the only time that it wasn't very pretty was when you were looking at it straight down, okay? But it did the job, and I never had any problems with it. And then Anna sent me, a couple of months ago now, she sent me a video on TikTok that used the furniture stoppers. So now that's what I use. So this will be the second time that I've done a cup with a furniture stop. I'm just going to fill that up a little bit more. Try and get rid of those little air bubbles. We don't want any air bubbles. So I filled that up again. I'm going to dry around. Okay. Now for that 5/16 drill bit, you want the, whoa, that's not coming up very clearly, is it? There we go. The 8mm furniture stops, right? It's $2.50 a packet from Bunnings. And they seem to go all right. Like, I've made one as a tester. I've been using it. My daughter uses it when she doesn't want to use her sunflower one because it's got, where is it? I don't have it. It's got Jack and Sally clays in it because it's my one. Right, so she uses it as well. My daughter is 11 years old. She is anything but light-fingered. She's quite heavy-handed. And it's stood the test of time. So I'm going to show you how to do that way because I just think it's so much easier than waiting for the Selleys to dry and whatever else. Okay, so your furniture stop with the sticky side up, right? The sticky side doesn't go into the cup, the sticky side faces up. We're going to push our furniture stop in just like that. See how easy that was? Okay, we're going to clean up around it, make sure it's nice and dry. That is now nice and sealed. As you can see, there is no leakage, none at all. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and seal that. I'm going to make sure it's dry first. And then you only get the tiniest little air bubble. Gonna dry it out. And now I'm going to seal it with UV resin. Now the UV resin that I use is this one, as you've seen before. And I need my UV light. Trying to do it all where I don't knock the camera over. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to get my little eyeshadow brush shaped silicone brush and seal it with UV resin. There's just this tiny little corner that's still wet. I don't want it wet. Okay. So I'm going to put a drop of UV resin over it like that, and then I'm going to smooth it all around. That area to make sure she stays put. Now obviously you don't want it too thick, because then when you go to put the cup down, it's not going to be very balanced, is it? But you also don't want it too thin that it's going to flake off. So we've got, see how now that's spread right out, covers the stopper completely. It comes out as far as that little sticky uppy bit that we, you know, the line bit, right? So now, in a perfect world, it'll be plugged in. There we go. Now we'll try. Okay, so I'm going to set this for 4 to 5 minutes just to be extra sure, and then I will be back to show you the end result. Alrighty, we're ready to finish it off. So as you can see, if you look really closely, see the shiny bit? We have our UV resin on there now. Right, let's give it a good shake. Right, you will have to shake it in all different directions to get that glitter that sticks around the top. Right, but that, isn't that stunning? See, you can see the little sunflower. I'm going to turn my light off. The little sunflowers in it. Isn't that gorgeous? But that is how I do my shaker cups. Lid goes on. It comes with straws, right? I'll dig my straws out later. I keep my straws separate in my spare lid container, but that is what we're left with. So I'm going to finish off my masterpiece with this SVG that I found. It says always bring your sunshine. I'm going to stick that there. I'm going to stick that there and try and stop it from rolling on me. Move you guys up a little bit. There we go. That. I'm looking for my little, you know, what are they called? Spatula is not the right word. You know your rubby innie, the little rubby innie things? I don't know where it's gone. Might be time to tidy my desk. I had it yesterday and now it's gone. Unless the fairies are just messing with me, which is always a possibility. It's always a possibility that the fae are messing with you, isn't it? So I'm just going to go over it with my finger because there's lots of little lines on this project. I'll make sure they're adhered. I use the Metamark M4 range and the M7 range. M4 I use more for like peekaboos, and if it's on sale I'll buy that and put that under resin. Please always use permanent vinyl, which is the M7 range, or Oracle. I think it's Oracle. Is it 651 for the permanent range? I don't know, I don't use Oracle. But that is what, give it a good shake again because it's all settled to the other side. Shake it. That is what we're left with. Our sunflower cup. And that's it. That's how I do my shaker cups. Okay. So, If you have any of your own tips or tricks, please leave them in the comments and let the world know your genius. Otherwise, like I said, I've been making these for a little over a year now. A lot of trial and error, a lot of adjusting your method, or my method rather. But that's what crafting is, isn't it? You do it one way and then somebody comes up with a hack, like the little furniture stops, right? I've been using gap filler for the entire time that I've been making these, and it's only been in the past couple of months that I've switched over to the furniture stops, right? But that's what crafting is, right? We're always learning, always updating, always perfecting, but that is how I do my shaker cups. I hope you all have learned something today and you can take something away from this video. Please let me know in the comments your thoughts. I always love hearing from you. If you have questions or you need clarification, leave that below as well. I always do my best to reply. I mean, I'm not a huge channel, right? I'm not a super active channel where I'm getting hundreds of comments a minute. So I do try to reply to everybody and help out where I can. Doesn't matter how long ago the video was, I always get that notification. Otherwise, I hope you really enjoy the rest of your week. I can't wait to see you next time, and keep safe. I'll see you guys later. Bye.